literally everything that was. I couldn't go beyond what I could see, but I was conscious of it.
Well, it's so riveting, as you know, when that happens, that all you want to do is bask in it.
Oh my gosh, yes. You never want to come back. And I think the only thing that can knock you out of that is fear.
Well, yes, I suppose if fear was to come up, it would interfere.
But there's nothing to be afraid of. It's just so beautiful and so...
Nothing at all. No, nothing at all.
Yeah.
This is a good conversation, just in case October the 17th is the D-Day.
Well, it could be that they all are.
It could be that they come in phases, and they come in
waves,
waves, Yes, it could very well. In fact, I have kind of surmised that that's a very real possibility. And we certainly are entering the zone with that. And the energy coming from our sun is being directed from the central sun, I think. I mean, isn't that what blows these sunstorms out like that?
Yes, yes.
So we're getting a feeling of this sort of meltdown. It's hard to think. Have you noticed that?
Oh, yes. Yes, I think I even wrote you a note about that. I've been having a terrible time holding thoughts and trying to remember things. And
yes, I too can join you on that.
Yeah.
And so, our ability to function could be very different.
Yes.
Not bad, but not so left-brained and so busy. We'll calm down a lot, I think.
We might be forced to move into our heart and function from the right side, the intuitive side. And those people, and of course the feminine population is already much more closely attuned to that, from the ability to give birth and to be intuitive. But a lot of men have made leaps in that direction as well. So
they are doing that.
Yes. Fortunately, the patriarchy is breaking down rapidly. And it just can't go on. And if it does, I don't want to be there. So I would choose, if I have the choice, and I assume that intent is part of it, then I choose not to participate in what they are creating for, humanity. Because that's just, we see the results of that now, and all you have to do is look back at the horrors that have been created to control us and keep us ignorant. The list is so long that it's why I don't even want to think about it.
No, I mean, I think one should know all of what's going on, but not dwell on it, I guess. Well, it hasn't been an easy world to live in, let's face it. It's a world of tragedy and suffering and greed and lack of empathy and selfishness and so on. Yes. I mean, yes. And the fact that there's so much corruption, it's just everything seems to be tainted. When they say one rotten apple in the barrel can cause them all to go bad, well, that really seems to be true here on the planet. That it's if somebody touches the corrupt atom, that infects them with it, and they've got the virus. So it's very seductive, isn't it? It seems like catching the measles or something.
Yes.
If you're around people who are doing that, I think many people are seduced into. I don't know where that mindset's coming from, other than that the quickening affects the ego in certain strange ways. If you don't have a certain detachment and the ability to recognize where the ego begins and ends, or alternatively to have a very committed moral standing in your in the way you live your life. But otherwise, people are being seduced left and right.
Yes. And the material seduction seems to be way out of control. So I'm guessing that at some point during this quickening, that there will be a collapse of the monetary system, and that will shock people into realizing that there are more important things that we've forgotten about than, our bonuses and, making lots of money and having 5-6 cars and mansions and the rest of it.
Mansions and lots of cars are going to be rather meaningless when this energy comes in, if it manifests the way we've been talking about.
Yes.
Which is quite possible it will.
Yes.
So I don't know.
Yes.
It's hard to imagine why people are so obsessed with money, at least for me. I don't get it at all. Especially in a collapsing world, there's not much you can do with money when everything collapses. Right.
Well, I think that the hierarchy at the top is really setting the example, because they're, a very small percentage owns most of the planet. And as you know, there's starvation in most of the countries, including in our own country, due to this a need to hoard and gain more. And so it's never enough, and then when that ends, then it becomes a game of control, and it's not about the money anymore. It's about, acting like gods. And
survival. Behind the acting like God is the desire to survive, perhaps. So I guess it's the last gasp of the patriarchal desire to have power and be in control.
Well, yes, and it's conceivable that those people, or that some people, are not connected to Source, so they're pulling energy from those who are. And that's the only thing that I can think of that would explain why there's such a drain on humanity, and why we're being rapidly, our freedoms are being removed, and we're being controlled to such a great extent. I don't think we've ever really had any freedom.
Well, freedom's an inner state, really.
Well, yes. Yes, of course. But
people who lack physical freedom have allowed themselves to be co-opted into losing their physical freedom. But yes, I do see the parallels between this spiritual journey as a journey to inner freedom, and and this potential loss of freedom for people who are unaware of what's being perpetrated on them. So yes, there are issues around freedom for sure. And I must admit, I don't resonate one bit with that mindset at all. I don't even really quite grasp why anyone would need to have that much power and control, other than a deep-seated fear or aggrandizement of feeling so small. The polarities of feeling so small that you have to aggrandize yourself.
Yes, well, there of course is a Gnostic myth that explains this, that claims that there are archonic beings that are, not necessarily organic, and that they don't have the same source that we do, and they have to pull their energy from human beings, and that the energy of fear and worship and terror and all of that is actually food. So that could explain partially, but
yes. Well, anybody who lives in an ego and believes that that is the full extent of who they are, and that they don't know that they have this divine connection, would believe that they have to get energy from other ways, that they can't pull it from within themselves.
Yes.
So,
yes.
I mean, I don't, what did you call them?
Archons.
Archons. I've never heard that term before.
Well, it's part of the Gnostic mythology that...
okay.
So...
That's very interesting. I think the average person with an ego doesn't realize that they're connected to the divine. Do you think that's true?
I don't think so. No, I don't.
Do you think people actually do believe that they are an extension of the divine energy?
I think the people who work on that and work on understanding that and feeling it and experiencing it, yes. But then you have so many of the world's religions teaching that you are not connected, and the only way you can connect is through the church and the holy this and that. And so many people are being thrown off course, I think, by
absolutely right.
Being misled.
On the other hand, if you stop and think, now where's this energy that runs, this life force that runs my body and my mind and soul?
Yeah.
Where is it coming from?
Yeah.
Then it's obvious there's a connection, but I guess the state of separation can be so extreme that there's not a belief that there's a connection. And if there's no belief or recognition that there's a connection, then you have very limited amount of energy available.
Yes, yes. And if you think about the many ways that we're being disconnected from source, through television, cell phones, texting, games, even at the food stores, everything is wrapped up in plastic. We don't know where meat comes from. If you actually saw the process, you'd be so horrified that you'd probably never want to eat meat again. But so we're being alienated and disconnected in many ways, and I think that's an intentional. I think that's an intentional thing because it has to do with us being consumers. We've been turned into cattle or sheeple to follow certain trends so that we can feed the system, and we're good for that. And then we buy into it, and before you know it, oh well, this is what reality is. I'm watching it on television. So.
Yeah.
Thank goodness there are people like you that can help us see that there are other or alternatives such as enlightenment.
And like you, I mean, but on the other hand, I only reach out to those who seek. I've learned that there's not much one can say to the other souls on the planet who have entrenched beliefs that they aren't willing to review and change. So, for whatever reason, I don't know. I consider that partially due to the incarnation that they chose to work through this in this lifetime. And so, since I can't know the details of those things, I'm not on that side, and I'm certainly am not conscious of that level of being. I can't understand it, and like you said, all you can do is find those who resonate with your own energy and vibration. Or who are looking for something, or who can sense that what they see is not what's real.
Yes,
Yes.
yes.